Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of GeekVerse Podcast Weekly Geek. I am one of your hosts, the young blood Taylor Field, and I am joined by
I'm the Starfighter, Dylan Muss.
Starfighter. Yes, we are here because we got some pretty awesome news to talk about. I mean, this is just the blessings from the gods tonight. Oh my goodness, we got Predator trailer, Predator Badlands specifically, Star Wars.
Taylor-centric episode, I would say, in terms of the topics, which is great. I'm happy for you.
It's it's a good day. It's a good day for a Thursday. But yeah, before we break down all the latest and greatest content, we're going to get into a couple of plugs. You can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. And be sure to check us out on the Patreon, because you can get ad-free, exclusive, early content there. It's a great place to be. The Mission Impossible retros are popping off there in celebration of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which comes out soon. What else is going on there? Can't think of anything else on top of my head. Just go check out the Patreon. Check out the Discord as well for updates and everything great there. But yeah, Patreon producers, you folks are fantastic. Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, The God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Rendell. You guys keep the lights on. Thank you very, very much for your support. On the main feeds, what do we got? We got Andor reviews that have started season 2, so check those out.
How was that? As good as season 1 so far?
I think it's keeping that bar up high. It's
nice.
It's amazing how it doesn't rely on the crutch of Star Wars. Like, oh, here's a Jedi, here's a Sith, yada yada yada. It's just damn good storytelling, and you can easily forget that it's in Star Wars, but you get subtle reminders like, oh, this is Star Wars in a very good way. So
right on.
Highly recommend it. What else is cooking right now? We have Last of Us. How could I forget Last of Us season 2? Those are on the Sundays. Those are popping off. And in the books right now, I believe we're going to be landing a final season review as well. Were you joining that for that, Dylan? I can't remember.
No, I was surprised at how you said in the books. I was like, oh, are we doing like book reviews now? Is there a weekly book episode? There's like now we had side quests for video games. Are we adding like, the book verse like weekly thing? But
the novel verse.
I am far behind on you. I think I've seen season 2, maybe 3, but yeah, I'm way behind, so that book is for you and the boys.
Okay. Yeah, so you can expect that coming soon.
It started in a bookstore, so that's actually a good...
It did start at a bookstore, yeah. Full circle.
And we're going back to the same bookstore for the finale.
That's right. But yeah, lots of stuff popping off on the main feeds. What's going on in your world there with SideQuest, Dylan?
Yeah, right after this, we're going to be recording this week's side. So it's a little late this week, but we're going to talk about Oblivion. We're going to talk about the Mario Kart Direct from last week, to talk about some Switch 2 thoughts, because you haven't been on SideQuest since the Switch 2 got like truly shown off and all that. So should be a nice juicy episode there. And then we're back to regular Tuesday releases. The last few weeks have been a bit hectic, but we'll be back on the straight and narrow pretty soon here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I think that does it. So we can just crack on into our main show-stopping topic right here. And this is the legendary trailer for Predator Badlands has arrived. So we'll break this down, and then we'll kind of segue off, because there's a few things that kind of sprout out from this trailer. But give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so this is a teaser is what they're calling it, right? So it's a little, I guess there is a decent amount of footage in here, but like for me, I don't know. I was looking for a little more sauce to it. It just seemed a little generic, I'm not going to lie, which is going to be maybe a bit of a theme for a lot of these trailers coming out tonight. So I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something also, because not to, jump ahead here, but like there's people are like this being like aliens in here and setting out AVP. I'm like, I didn't see a single alien thing in here, so maybe I have a very small brain. It's very possible, but I feel like I need you to walk me through. I need you to take my hand and lead me on a merry chase, because I don't know. I feel like I'm missing some of the fun details where this seemed like totally solid. I really liked Prey. This is the same director, right? So I'm like, I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be just as good, but yeah, I don't know. I couldn't find the sauce on my own, so I need you to lead me to that bountiful nectar, I guess.
I will take you there. I will baptize you in that nectar and take you back.
Okay.
Yeah, this trailer was, my goodness. I was not expecting it. What was going on? It was it was a couple days ago when it dropped, and I was on my lunch break, and I was looking up random things about Andor, and just like talking, and Travis is casually like, "Oh, what do you think of that Predator trailer?" I'm like, "What? I'm over here googling Andor facts, and there's a Predator trailer." Uh, so
Just like season 1 facts, not even like new stuff, just like old facts.
yeah. So check the trailer out, and yeah, holy smokes, this is such a new and fresh take for Predator. We've never had anything like this in the future outside of the video games. So to get it in a cinematic state like this is just crazy, 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 crazy. They are going way off the deep end into Predator lore and their culture, everything like that. And probably just one of my favorite things about Predators in general is just all of these films are all anthology movies. I'd say Predator 2 is obviously a direct sequel to the first Predator, but everything else, it all just is like mentions to that first Predator movie, and then they have Easter eggs, of course, sprinkled throughout. And this is just another one of those scenarios. It's its own anthology film, whether or not, and we'll talk more about how this connects to maybe an AVP after, but I just think that this is an awesome potential setup for what is to come, and the idea as well of just this young blood Predator who's exiled from his clan, and he has to go and regain his honor by killing an alien creature that is supposedly unkillable to be welcomed back into his clan. Hell yeah,
Great
sign me
concept,
up.
yeah.
That's so simple. I'm there, and just have the Predator as the main protagonist. Really like that. The cons now surrounding the look of the Predator. I understand a lot of people have a problem with this thing because people are saying, oh, it's kind of got human attributes and facial qualities to it. I can understand that, and it does resemble certain things along those lines. But at the end of the day, I prefer this over the Predator from Prey. The Predator and Prey, I really have never been a fan of that look. I've always been a fan of just like the original and the Predator from Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Like the movies have constantly always changed the look from the original. No two Predators have ever been the same in terms of design. So they dip their toes.
Is that a thing that we like have a lore implication of why that, like, I guess it's just like the variety on this planet where they come from, right? They just different
Yeah,
people. Different,
it's
come from
that's
different
exactly
places.
it. Come from different places, different continents on their planet, different planets, whatever, different tribes. But it's not the only. It's not the first time we've seen a different predator. In the movie Predators, we've seen there's a different species that is there. So we know there's different types, and I think people are forgetting that with this. And I'm not crapping on the community, but there's just a sense of miscommunication here because while the movie was maybe codenamed No Man's Land at one point before it was Badlands, I'm seeing lots of people come out saying, I thought this was going to be a World War One movie with the trenches and with a predator fighting soldiers. And I'm like, man, no. So there's
I know, I don't remember that rumor. That's not something that I was expecting going into this. It's funny, like I feel like he kind of looks like the runt of the litter a bit, but like he looks just as ugly as any other predator, which is like a good thing. That's an attribute you want for a predator, right? So
yes.
I was a little surprised. I heard the chatter all day, and then I finally watched a trailer later. I was like, this guy fits right in. I don't know. I couldn't pick him out of a line in terms of how different or weird or uglier he looks than the other ones.
And that's perfect. I mean, it fits with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like yo one ugly motherfucker. He's a bad accent, but that's what he says. So
it was weak. Yeah.
it fits with the cards, and I think they're not supposed to look like great. I think people have a problem with the ponytail look as well. There's definitely a Viking kind of tone to him, but this is something where they wanted to do a practical effect. They wanted to do like animatronic pincers and everything like that, but they couldn't do it in the sense that he's the main character, and they have to have a lot of emotion come from his face and a lot of expression more than emotion, and that's something they had to CGI. So you're going to see, okay, his face is really more CGI than practical, like we've seen in all the past Predator movies.
Gotcha.
So there is that, and that might be cause for why he looks a little bit off and people have a problem with him. But I think the big thing is that people are upset with like his hairline being an issue and whatnot, just how he looks. But
fucking body shaming this.
Oh yeah,
predator?
yeah.
Oh,
He's a young predator. I mean, predators, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure they can live for hundreds of years. They can get really, really old, and so this one is very, very young. So I see it as he's a young predator. He's got growing to do, where his forehead probably becomes more elongated, and then his tendril whatever hair kind of grows out. So there's lots going on there, but I think people need to just relax. I'm seeing a lot of people say that this movie looks terrible and horrible and whatnot, but like, to each his own. If you don't want to spend the money to go see it, don't go and see it. But my 2 cents are, we're getting a movie that takes place like 100 to 200 years in the future. We're going to see predators that are more advanced than what we've seen now, because their technology is going to have quadrupled and advanced, and we're going to see predators hunting predators. We're going to see just so much more backstory and character, and the fact that we got a predator teaming up with a air quotes human. I think this is going to be a lot of fun with Ellie Fanning's character. Yeah, so you say you didn't see any alien nods in here, right?
And I went on YouTube and I saw our thumbnail for our episode here, and I feel like the trailer I watched had the same shot. There's just not an alien on the trailer I watched. So maybe I watched the wrong trailer. I don't know. Which happens sometimes. We all know Kirkland's got caught up in that with Last of Us. So maybe I'm a fool.
Well,
is there a xenomorph in this trailer? Like a straight up xenomorph?
There is no xenomorph in this trailer.
Okay, so what's going on with our thumbnail then? Like, this is a ChatGPT creation. This is a Taylor original. What's going on here?
I can get why Travis put that in there just to kind of get it kind of.
We're clickbaiting, okay?
We're clickbaiting. Yeah, we're clickbaiting. Okay. So yeah, let's break this down. Let's get this juice going. So, Fanning's character, right here.
Tripping
in
out.
the thumbnail. So, do you recognize what's on her eyes? It's a bit blurry of a photo.
No, I don't.
Do you remember? I can't remember the name of the android from Alien Romulus when he went into that like shutdown mode and his eyes kicked back.
Oh, okay, that's what's going on here.
That's what's going on here, and you can actually, when you zoom in, of course you can't see it here. It's a bad quality photo, but her eyes have the WY for Wayland Yutani Corporation on her eyes.
Ooh, full power. Okay.
She's also wearing a jacket with the Wayland Yutani logo on it. And to top that off, here's another shot from the trailer. Look at the logo on that vehicle on the right-hand side next to the Predator.
Ah, yes, bottom right of the vehicle there. There we go.
Wayland Yutani. So that's the big, like, cojones, is that, okay, we've got... This is the setup here. Now we're basically in that timeline of where Alien Romulus takes place, and now we have a Predator adventure happening here, and the company is involved too. So
yeah. So sorry, catch me up. Like with where this is set, you said this 200 years in the future, right?
I'm loosely gauging that it is around that time. Yes.
So in relation to the Alien series, is it closest to Romulus in the timeline? Is that what you're saying?
My best guess, and someone could probably find and I don't know
if we have like precise numbers for some of this stuff.
I could not give you precise numbers, but I'd say give or take within like 50 years before or after the events of like Alien Romulus and or the first Alien movie. I feel like that's where this is going to be taking place. That's my guesstimation, however.
Okay, I mean a lot can happen in 50 years, but that at least puts us in that ballpark where there's a few different possibilities of what could be going on there.
So that's the big thing where we're just kind of like leading up to it. And there's been lots of talk. I mean, we put a pizza bet down, right, for AVP 3.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: on the pizza bet front, if a xenomorph is in this movie, let's say even post-credit scene, do I get my pizza? Does that count as this being an alien, or does it have to be a movie that has Alien vs Predator in their title? I don't think we ever like talked about that necessarily, but maybe I should have specified in that pizza bet, like, does the movie have to be called Alien vs Predator, or could it just be that they're in a movie together?
They're in a movie together.
An alien movie or Predator. Yeah,
got to be in a movie together, because that was even some of the things that Dan, how do you say, Trachtenberg. That was something of the things he was alluding to, where it would be so awesome if you're watching an alien movie. I think it was Dan that was saying this. It might have been, maybe it was Fede Alvarez. It's one of the two legendary directors, and they were saying how it'd be so cool if you're watching an alien movie, the aliens like fighting and da-da-da, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, there's a predator in the background. And it's like you're thinking you're in for an alien movie, but then it's an alien versus predator movie. And you know what? If you get your alien in this movie, I 100% think that qualifies for the pizza.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be, like, for us at this point, it wouldn't really be as much of a surprise, I suppose. But I feel like a lot of the casual viewers probably won't. Maybe they'll see the trailer, but they might miss those little details. They might not think about it, and maybe they'll be surprised. Maybe the GA will get that big pop, but the hardcore. I mean, I guess if they don't actually show the xenomorph, it would still be a big surprise, even for the yous and me's of the world that have kind of broken this down a little bit more.
Yeah, and I don't know if, I mean, you get the comics. There's lots of comics that have predators versus aliens and whatnot, but I don't think most of the GA is really aware of how interconnected these two franchises are with aliens and predators. I think you have the alien movies that are one thing and the predators that are their own thing. And the last time we got a crossover was the Predator, but it was extremely subtle, because then in the trophy case in this secret human lab, you see the alien staff that the girl was using in Alien versus Predator under the Antarctic. So there's little Easter eggs that are crossovers. Okay. And then again, Predator 2 has an alien skull in the trophy case, and then you get Alien versus Predator 1, Alien versus Predator 2. But no one's really remembering those movies anymore. So if they throw an alien in this movie, or in an AVP, they do an AVP3, another one, like, people are going to be like, wow, and I think it'll have a lot of speed and momentum with it. A lot of people will be excited if this movie is successful.
So is the big creature that we see, like, loosely in this, like, do you think that could be a evolution of a xenomorph, potentially? Because we don't really see, like, a clean shot of it, but it's like, it looks big. It looks a lot bigger than a xenomorph. It looks like about the size of a queen, but it's obviously a lot more agile than a queen typically is.
I mean, I'm open to that, but I don't necessarily think they'll go that route. I think it'll just be something different. I think it feels like this movie is really set on world building. And before, where we've just had on Earth, here's a predator, yada yada, this just feels like, no, we are diving down the deep end. I was reading an interview where they were actually looking at the predator language. Now, the predator language was not really, it didn't have any meaning. It's just symbols. It didn't have any kind of proper structure to it. So they actually broke down the predator language and created an actual language of Yautja for what they're doing here with the culture and the backstory. So really, really excited for the amount of depth that they're giving these beings, which we really haven't gotten to learn a lot.
So do you I just feel like it'd be weird if, like, this movie is set up as like, oh, you gotta take out this ultimate enemy, this unkillable thing, and, like, that's not a xenomorph, but then there's, like, a xenomorph that just, like, shows up and he just, like, randomly kills a xenomorph, or they just duke it out for a bit? Or do you think it's just, like, post-credit, like, setting up, like, a full-on AVP next time around?
I think the odds of an alien being in this movie would be limited to the post-credit scene for sure.
Okay. Maybe even just like an egg, like a pulsing egg or something.
It could be exactly that, or you could get some other Easter egg in the background of Weyland-Yutani. Maybe it looks like he's gonna be involved with some of the stuff going on with Weyland-Yutani. He's gonna be crossing paths with them, obviously, in this movie. So maybe he goes through a lab, and in the lab you see, like, a face hugger in the background or something like that. We know that the Weyland-Yutani was playing with the black goo and was doing some cloning of the Xenos and the face huggers. So I think that there's a high chance that you can see something small. But that end credit scene, I think you get something along the lines of maybe a Xeno. If there's an end credit scene, I would put my stock in it. Or I don't know. I think something with Alien Earth, like, they're really going hard on, like, the Alien and the Predator stuff right now.
Yeah. I forgot about the Alien Earth thing, because we didn't get a teaser for that. We just got, like, more.
There's, like, multiple teasers out right now, like, very small teasers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But so one other cool thing that was noticed with the trailer here was, and I love a good trophy case. This is a sweet. That's
a nice looking trophy case.
Now, if you look at the right, we got a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull, which is just sick. I love that. We got to the left, we got a human skull. People are saying the skull above the human skull is a space jockey, the engineer's skull.
Oh, that is, that fits in terms of the scale of it.
Yeah. In the very center there to the left, it looks like people are saying that could be like a gorilla skull. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It's hard to tell, but that very middle skull, you see how it's got a interesting, like, triangle look to it?
Yeah.
So the kicker with that, and I'm sure you've seen Independence Day, is that it's one of these aliens from Independence Day. I'm not kidding.
I have not seen Independence Day, but this thing is wild. This is quite the design on this bad boy.
these things are the harvesters, and basically they harvest
That's
planets.
someone's
They
hand. That's a
Well,
hand right there.
he's holding the skull.
Okay,
He's holding the
okay.
skull. But yeah, this is it with the skin on. Basically, they don't talk. They're
Ugh.
very telepathic, and they got really cool technology. Um, and the fun fact about this is that these things, this IP, Independence Day, it was a Fox property, and now it's a Disney property, and now all of a sudden
Oh, okay.
you see one of their skulls pop up in the trophy case here.
Right. Right. That works
So
out. That could happen.
I don't know if they would ever do a crossover like that. That's a whole nother can of worms, but
That
very
is.
cool. Very cool. Some people are saying maybe it's a War of the Worlds alien skull, but I think it's the
I
Independence
gotta
Day.
watch that again. It's been a long time since I've seen War of the Worlds. Cool.
Yeah, I have another little thing here,
Mm-hmm.
and this literally just dropped. I was just scrolling through and saw, oh my god, like my Alien versus Predator group that I follow, and these guys, like, they're diehards. They're just in the trenches, no man's land, looking for all like the details. Their boots on the ground at the conventions. They're interviewing people that work on the movies and whatnot. Like they're there, and so they shared this rumor. I was like, oh man,
They
this is a
can probably
juicy
speak
rumor.
Yautja, right?
Oh, they can. They created
Yeah.
it. uh,
Yeah.
so, but they say in this article to take this rumor with a grain of salt. It's just a rumor, but it comes from someone who has a recent track record of being pretty spot on. So, and this is also taken a little bit more fruition after the fact that the aliens connections are tied into the Predator Badlands trailer. But word on the street is that there is a Predator in the script for Fede Alvarez's follow-up to Alien Romulus.
Okay. Now I'm trying to remember. Have we ever got confirmation that he's doing another one?
Let me double
Like I feel like
check.
I've not. I feel like that's the first time I'm hearing of that. That movie did pretty well relative to like, movies of its type or other alien movies, but it wasn't, it wasn't like a $1 billion movie by any means.
I keep seeing a bunch of articles that he's working on a sequel.
Okay. Maybe he said in a tweet that he was writing a script or something like that. But okay, so I
Oh.
didn't actually know that. I didn't know he was working on another one.
Here's one from IGN. Alien Romulus 2 in the works. The sequel would continue the story of the first movie with Fede and talks to direct. That was from 2024. So it seems like
Okay,
they are
cool.
working on it. So again, that works hand in hand here with the potential of this script. Now if there again, word on the street is that there is a Predator, and what I was alluding to earlier is that if this Badlands movie takes place in the same time span of Alien Romulus, which I suspect it does, every Predator movie, its Predator has died. That's just the standard MO. I think this one's going to break that streak. This Predator is going to live. He's a young Predator, and I think that they're going to maybe, and Travis referred to him as this, like, the Predator, and I think if they keep this one alive, then you're probably going to see him as, if this rumor is true, the Predator in
Right.
Fede Alvarez's follow-up.
He'll have the full-on luscious locks. He'll have his
That's
forehead
right.
fully grown in, and he'll be ready to tussle with a with a Xeno. Okay, that'd be cool. It seems like these worlds are on the collision course here. Just like the
Oh.
Romulus ship in the Saturn's rings or whatever was going on in Romulus.
That's
just
right.
Like that.
They got the quote here too. This is perfect. Okay, the best Alien versus Predator will be the one that you don't know is AVP until the other guy shows up. You think you're watching a Predator movie and they land in some place and there are creatures and fucking hell, it's a xenomorph. That would get me. Fuck yeah, you'd go crazy. Or vice versa. You're in an alien movie and suddenly a mysterious creature is there and you can hear that sound. You see the cloak and you go, is that a fucking Predator? And it turns out it is. That'd be the way to do it, don't you think? Once you put it in the title, it's like spoiler alert. And so
Yeah, true. But I aren't they kind of spoiling it by like kind of talking about all this stuff? Or I mean, I guess this one
They
thing was a
are.
rumor, a grain of salt rumor, but yeah. But yeah, once again, the GA probably doesn't know all this stuff, and so they'll be popping off in their seats, or more likely in their homes when they watch it on Disney Plus later on. But yeah,
Absolutely. But yeah, that's I think all the details I have on aliens and predators and all that jazz. Was there anything else you wanted to sneak in there?
I guess we just got that one question from SBubs, so we can bring that in here. from Patreon. You can go on Patreon and get, ask us questions whenever you want. For possible AVP 3, who would you rather have it direct? Would it be one of these two, Fede Alvarez, director of Romulus, or Dan Trachtenberg, director of Prey and Badlands? Also, what would you be your thoughts on them co-directing it, which is something they've mentioned wanting to do? I mean, if they've mentioned wanting to do it, then I would want them to do it. Because I feel like that would be their finest work. If both of them want that, then give them the keys. Like Prey was a great movie, Romulus was really really great. Badlands, I'm sure it'll be another good one as well. And so I feel like and if Fede's making another Alien, even if that's not the one that has a Predator in it, but he's just making another thing, I think it'd be really cool if they each directed 2 movies and then it like culminates in like a fifth, like an AVP, whether or not it's actually called AVP. Once again, if they want the surprise factor of it, who knows? But I think it'd be really cool to have both of their respective visions in there. If I had to pick between the two, though, maybe I'd go with Fede. I don't know. I just maybe I'm a bigger fan of his stuff, generally speaking. But like Prey's also great, so I don't know. I feel like I'd take either of them. Like if one, the other, or both, either way, you're getting like a great movie. I think right there.
It depends.
And I'm sure the other one would be like a
focus to
producer
be.
on it at the very least, even if they're not like a co-director or something.
Yeah. It depends what the focus would be, what you'd want it to be, I guess. Because I feel like Fede, he did a great job fleshing out these human characters in the dynamic of dealing with the Xenos. And you got Dan, who's, we'll see here with Badlands, but and he's also got his like Hunter or Killer of Killers, like the other Predator Hulu movie series that's coming out or whatever it is.
Okay.
So those are his 3 Predator projects. So you have someone who's really good at emphasizing the Predators and that kind of story. So I mean, together they would just be such a dangerous combo. Oh my goodness. And I think that they like to have someone who's been working hard and learning how to really bring to life the one side of things, and then you have someone else who worked really hard to bring out this side of the coin, and then you could put them together. I think you could just get something really really good. And I go back when Predators came out, and it's like, oh yeah, we're doing the Predator, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're getting like the Predator. I can't believe it. And thinking, man, that's it. That was their last hurrah, 2018, and there we go. Disney bought Fox, and we're probably not going to get it. And now Disney's just going like full steam ahead. They're putting all the Easter eggs in. We're leading up to maybe getting Alien versus Predator 3, and yeah, like. Put these 2 directors together. I would absolutely. If I had to pick one, I'm biased. I'd say Dan because I like the Predators. I feel like there's not much to really flesh out Xenos.
You want them to be biased in favor of the Predators. You want them to have an advantage.
I do.
Yeah. I honestly, I would agree with you almost, even from like a totally different side of it. Like, I'm kind of like Fede. I loved Romulus. I'm gonna go see whatever his next Alien movie is. At the same time, I kind of just want to see what he'll do next, whether that isn't the original thing because he has like great original ideas, or if it's like what he did with Evil Dead, or something just like his take on another franchise. He just has such a great vision and like ability to execute. So at the same time, I'm like, if he moved away from these things in general and just moved on to something else, I'm just kind of down for whatever he does. So yeah, I'll agree with your Trachtenberg theory there.
Trachtenberg, perfect. Espob's in the chat as well. Just now tuning in the stream as I just finished watching AVP for the first time. All this AVP 3 talk has recently got me in the mood to watch the originals. Espob's, mission for you. Now you watched the first AVP. I'm glad you did. Watch Alien versus Predator Requiem. That one is one of my favorites. I think it's got one of the most badass Predators of the entire franchise. And yes, check out the retro. We did all Aliens, Predators, and Alien versus Predator movies.
Yep.
Definitely worth
and
it.
Alien Isolation even go.
And Alien Isolation. All Alien. Yeah. Oh, I remembered one more thing. What is it? There's I don't have a photo of it. There's the one Predator who's got like antlers on his helmet, and people are saying that he's the clan leader. He's got like the white dreadlocks on his helmet and whatnot. And I was looking at it and was like, wow, this is actually a NECA action figure that's been around for a bit. A very expensive one. I found one listed at almost $500. But this figure, he seems really, really cool. He's got like orange skin. And he's got alien tails that pull out of his gauntlets, and they're used as like whips. So he uses them as like weapons.
Okay.
Which would be apparently this is supposed to be like it looks very much like him with the armor and the helmet and everything like that. But Yeah, the
Sorry, where does that character originate from?
I don't know his
Because if there's a figure of him, he
originations.
must have been in something already.
The here I got a photo. The thing with NECA toys, like there's a lot of Predator comics, but here's a photo of him so you can kind of see like
Okay.
he's got the whips coming out, and then here he is, and he's got his helmet with the antlers on
Wow.
there.
Intense energy on this guy for sure.
So here's another example. This is an alpha predator.
Okay, you're small on my screen, but let me zoom in a
Oh,
little
oh,
bit.
sorry. Let's go big. Let's go big.
Okay. Alpha Predator.
So this is supposed to be one of the first, and the story goes, one of the first predators. So what's cool about this is his helmet. Now, when they were first designing the Predator look in the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, that helmet, that was actually the look of what the original alien was. It's supposed to be very insectoid-like.
A little
And
bug. Yeah, a little more buggy.
exactly. So they scrapped that whole look, and then they gave us the classic Predator face and design and whatnot. But
Is
the
he like
lore
very
behind,
blue, or is that just the camera's glare?
it's probably the camera glare. He's a bit
Okay.
more white, like albino-ish.
Yeah.
But the fun fact about this, and again, this is I feel like NECA Toys just creating backstories. They have a plethora of different figures, like this clan leader you just saw, and so this guy in particular with the Alpha, he was one of the first predators were slaves by these aliens, and so this predator rose up. He killed one of the aliens, made a helmet, whatever, out of it, and like
Sorry, not like xenomorph aliens, but just
no,
other.
different aliens.
Okay.
They were enslaved, and so then they took their technology and they killed them, and then became like a superpower race and whatnot, the hunters. So there's again so much different lore when it comes to predators and whatnot. But yeah,
Cool.
so I don't know where the clan leader came from. It's it, which word, clan leader or Yautja or what was the
Don't
word? What
even.
was the word?
Don't
Detail.
engage. Don't engage. Stand down.
Oh, I know the word you're talking about. I think okay. Yeah. Moving on. We're gonna take our first ad break and get into some trailers. We'll be right back. And we are back. So, which trailer, Dylan, do you want to start with?
Oh boy. I'll start with the trailer here for Toxic Avenger. This is a movie I've been very much looking forward to because I love the last movie from this director. This is, a classic kind of 1 minute long trailer here, so I feel like it doesn't have all the sauce to it. It's got Peter Dinklage in there, and is it Kevin Bacon is the guy in there? I always mix him up with the other
Yes. Yeah.
Gary. Him and Gary always look the same movie. Anyway, So I think this looks really fun. It looks very insane and over the top and wacky, which is exactly the same traits I loved about the director's previous work. And I forget his name. It starts with an M. But anyway, he made a movie that I really enjoy. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this. It feels like it keeps getting delayed or kicked out, or maybe it's at festivals and it's not. And I've heard not good things about it from like maybe people who have seen it. But either way, I'm very excited for this one. I don't even really know why. I love the design of the kind of transformed version of him, and I think this is just gonna be a weird, insane movie, and I am down for it. So that's probably the top of the pile for me. Maybe not the most quality trailer of the bunch, but in terms of like that's just a movie I've been most looking forward to, and finally seeing it in motion is an exciting thing. So I should look up if that has a release date on it at this juncture. But yeah, what did you think of that one? Because I feel like I haven't heard many other people talking about this movie.
Yeah, it's very weird. I never saw like I never saw anything about this franchise about this movie before until
Yeah,
I
it's a movie from I don't know back in the day, and this is like a remake, I guess.
yeah, so I'd never seen anything about
Coming out in
that
August.
original August. Okay, but I remember seeing maybe I think it was one of the earlier trailers or teasers or something like that, and some photos. Very very interesting and gory, and it just reminds me of like Hobo with a Shotgun, that Rutger Hauer movie, where it feels like it's got a very low budget kind of camera quality to it. and then it's just got so much excessive over the top gore that's super crazy. And I think it's gonna be a very fun role to see all these characters casted in this movie, and I think Peter Dinklage is gonna really do a good job playing as this toxic Avenger. I'm assuming he's like a superhero or is he like an anti-hero.
Yeah, I think a villain, even potentially anti-hero villain. This medication, not what he expected from it. I thought it was an ad playing at first. This trailer, I was watching on YouTube, and I got an ad right before it, and then I thought this was like another ad, but then it was actually just a trailer of the movie. So, the tone of that was nailed as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun.
What was your top dog here? Not to spoil your ranking, but or I guess what was the most exciting trailer for you out of this bag of treats here?
Ooh, probably 28 years later.
Yeah.
And I saw this trailer actually when I was watching Sinners on the IMAX screen. They played this trailer, and I yelped that first, like, but the soldiers are going through the dark tunnel. I thought I knew it was coming, but then the Deadites just like I freaked. But yeah, this trailer was awesome, and they're using that same music, like 5, 7, 11, 6.
The music was fantastic.
Even though it was the same kind of like narrated, like numbered song from the first trailer, using it again in this trailer, it felt even more intense and freaky, and just getting to see a little bit more of the concept. They're on this island, the tide comes in and out, and it isolates the island, and they're going to the mainland, and this just looks like it's gonna be a freaking good movie, and so freaky. Like when it just feels so claustrophobic when they're out there, and you look out and you just see when they're just the way they're running, the things like the zombie things are charging at them, and just it's
unsettling,
creepy. It is very unsettling, and so I really look forward to seeing what's happening here. But it's all like, I think the rest of the world is fine, I think that this is still just Britain issue, if I remember correctly. I think
I still have not seen any of the OGs, so I don't know any lore.
I think we might be doing I think we might be doing a retro.
Yes, that is the plan. And I'm excited to watch them finally.
Yeah. Okay. Then I won't say anything. I won't say anything about the rage virus and stuff, because you'll. I'm excited to do the retro with you guys. I think there's a lot of good quality in there.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know if it was really a surprise or whatnot, but just because I know so little about this series, that I kind of expected something to be like a little more character focused, like smaller scale, scarier. But this seems like bombastic and huge, and like budget coming out of every corner. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty grand adventure, which I guess makes sense for the third in a series, right? So but it's been a long time since the original ones, of course. So I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a good time, and I like zombie stuff. So I think I'm going to be in for a treat with this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. One that okay, Eddington here. This is the next movie from Ari Aster. Of course, did Hereditary, into Midsommar, into Beau is Afraid. I kind of want to go into like an alternate dimension where, like, after Midsommar, like Ari Aster just decide to do a different direction than the way he's gone. Like, this does not look particularly appetizing to me. I'm not into this. I mean, this was a very, very much like a teaser thing. I don't even really know what the movie's going to be about. It's just Joaquin scrolling on his phone and seeing all these people having like these different takes politically on stuff, and he's just in his bed in a dark room scrolling. So like, who knows what the actual full-on movie is going to be like? And I like Beau is Afraid is enough, but like in terms of, is it like anywhere close to Hereditary and Midsommar? Like, definitely not. So I don't know. I'm going to give this a chance for sure. And like, Joaquin was used to his fullest in Beau is Afraid, and so to have that pairing again is great. And then you have like Pedro's in here, and we got Emma Stone. I mean, I don't know how much they're gonna be in the movie, or if they're just like on one Instagram reel situation. Probably they're in it a little bit more than that. So I don't know. I'm definitely still gonna see this. Like, it's not like I'm totally out on Ari Aster movies. I'm just not really excited for this one in the way that I even was for Beau is Afraid. Like, that was very strange and confusing, and I was still excited to go see it, and I did go see it when it released, and I will do that here. But yeah, I don't know. Ari Aster's on a bit of a journey, so we'll see what happens here. Especially like Bo was Afraid came out, probably had a big budget, didn't do very well. This seems like it could be a simple, smaller scale thing with like a lower budget. Like I don't want it to feel cheap, but I hope whatever his weird creative vision is, I hope he can like he still has been given the money from the studio to like make the movie he wants to make. So I don't know. I'm feeling a little on the edge about this one, but do you have any thoughts on that one?
I still have not seen Beau is Afraid, so I don't have much I can add really on the Ari Aster front. I mean, Midsommar, Hereditary, I've seen those ones, but this one did not have a lot of. It didn't put a lot of orange juice into my cup, so I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not.
Squeeze that orange.
I'm still thirsty. I'm still thirsty. So.
Well, what and did any of the other trailers quench that thirst?
I'm still thirsty, but it was at least it was a palatable sip from watching. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
This seems like it'll be a good time. Going a little bit of a legacy kind of sequel here, but I can't even remember how many they did before. I want to say there was 3 in total. But I
Okay.
just mostly remember just the original one. And yeah, that original one, that's definitely a classic for sure. And as it was it's been it's been memed on so many times. I feel like with Family Guy and with other like Simpsons and whatnot, other different iterations and comedies, they've memed on it lots and lots of times. So I feel like, okay, we're definitely gonna, it makes sense to kind of like touch back on this universe, because I don't know if everyone is really familiar with it. I don't know if everyone is actually really. I'm counteracting my point. It's a lesser franchise in comparison to all of the horror other icons out there, but I feel like at its core there is a cult following, and there is a like a cult meme following that would clue in, like, oh yeah, I recognize that because that's been portrayed in different comedies and represented in that light. If that makes sense, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. I've never seen any of these movies. In fact, I didn't even know there was more than one. So this is something I'm completely not knowledgeable on. And I don't know. To me, it seemed like, okay, it's a slasher. It's a pretty basic by the number slasher. Is there like a secret sauce to this? Like, what makes this special from other slashers? You know, like some of them are kind of more fourth wall, some more like parody, some are like really gory. Like, I don't know, what is the special sauce with this one? Is there any, or is it kind of just like, it's just a slasher?
Um, it really just comes down to, these people do something and they try to hide it, and someone finds out. And so he starts taking them down. That's really all the special sauce. I mean, you don't really get a lot from.
That's not very special. That's just like a little dash of mayo.
Yeah, there's not a lot of juice. It's.
Yeah.
I think that this. I'm hoping this one has a little bit of more sauce, a little bit more than mayo in it. But I'm hoping it doesn't rely on the crutch that is just the legacy sequel by bringing back a familiar face and just trying to replicate what happened before. But yes, there were 3 previous ones. I think there was a show 2, but I could be wrong. There was I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and then I'll always know what you did last summer. That was the 3rd one.
Okay. Do you think like the twist of like what is the thing that they did last summer? Like, is that a thing that's revealed, or is it always just like a Pulp Fiction like golden box? Like, do
it's
you ever
revealed.
Find out? Okay.
I
Do you
don't
think
know
it's going
if-
to be the same thing in this movie that like the other ones were?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not anything new, but they're all in a car. All these kids are partying, whatnot, and then they hit someone on the road. And
Are you spoiling the twist right now? Sorry.
No, I mean that's in the original, and that's
Okay.
I'm pretty sure is going to happen in this one too. They hit someone, and then
I feel like you
they
just potentially spoiled this movie for people who. I have not seen the originals. Now I know. Is it even a twist, or do they just reveal it early on?
It's in the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
there
give
is
you
a
pass then.
there are twists, but that's later on. Basically, they partake in like accidentally hitting someone with their car, and then it's like, oh, they try to like pretend like, oh, it never happened. And they hide it and they forget about it. And a year later, this person, someone or whatever, is like, I know what you did last summer, and he's trying to kill them. So that's basically the general gist. But there's twists in there.
I don't think I'm going to be skipping this one. I don't know. I don't see it. This
That's
seems a little
fair.
cash grabby to bring this back. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. It's got its cult following, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is there. I mean, weapons. I don't know. The trailer itself was not particularly juicy, but I mean, it's got. This is the director of Barbarian, right? It's his next project. I don't know. Seems like the tone's really good. I like the concept. The cast is good as well. And I know a lot of people are very excited for this one. So I'm definitely on board. Like Barbarian's such a fun movie. So I'm excited for this one, but I don't know if the trailer really amplified that excitement at all.
Mm-hmm. This movie scared the shit out of me. This trailer.
Okay.
Just seeing
Nice.
the dialogue with what they were saying, and yeah, there wasn't any forced entry. They left willingly, and just unless you're seeing something I'm not, what's going on? And you just see all this footage of just like the kids running, and it was the fact that their arms were out like they were gliding, which was kind of weird. And it's just, a part of me felt like this could be like a UFO related type deal or something like that. I feel like that fits something going on there, but we'll see. Just there's one shot where the camera was gliding to the right, and it's gliding as this kid is running down the street in the dark, and it was a amazing cinematic shot, but just eerie and freaky. I will say shout outs to one comment I saw on the YouTube where this person was like, yeah, look at these kids playing with no phones, no iPads. Great. That's different scenario, but I'm there day one. I'm a big Barbarian fan. That was my number one the year it released, and so I'm sold. I'll be there day one to support this.
Very nice. Very nice. What else from this batch here?
You know what? We got Heads of State, which I feel
Heads
like
of
this is a
State.
movie we don't need, but we're getting it.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a comedy, I guess, but every joke in here was like, at best, a 2 out of 10 would be my
That's
rating.
generous.
Yeah, you think that was generous? Okay, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought I was being a little generous, in fact. So I'm glad that you confirmed that for me. You got good cast here, but yeah, this looks not good at all. I couldn't tell if this is like because there's like another. There's a I think it's Chris Rock maybe. Who there was a movie called Head of State back in the day. And so I couldn't tell if this is like I couldn't find any info about it being a legacy sequel or not even like a remake or something with new actors or something. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, there you go. It's a movie that exists. Probably forget about it.
It's got a few big names to it. I mean, Idris Elba, John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the lady's name. I think something Jonas, I want to say. And you got
Something
Jack
Jonas.
Quaid.
Okay.
Something
Jack
Jonas.
Quaid, the guy who's in everything. Yep.
The guy who's in everything. Yeah, so he's popping off in there too. But at its core, it seems very mediocre. And I wish... I'm trying to think off the top of my head a movie that Amazon has done that was like actually blowing it out of the water. But I feel like lately they have John Cena at their disposal and they're just throwing him in these silly roles for these movies. And I wish they would kind of like maybe tap in to do something a little bit better with him as a character. I feel like he's got the potential to do something and to deliver, but he's just playing and maybe it's supposed to make like a mockery of the United States, of course, with everything that's going on. And so he's playing like a silly, goofy president, right? So, but I digress. At first, I legit thought that Idris Elba was, when they said like, "Oh, Prime Minister," I was like, "Is this like an America Canada team up kind of like scenario?" Like, no, it's just the British Prime Minister. Yeah, I'm not going to be in a rush to see this.
No, absolutely not. Another one we got this movie called Him, which Jordan Peele producer here. I think this one looks really interesting. I don't know what the heck is going on, but like in a good way. It's kind of like a football player who perhaps has like a split personality or like schizophrenia, but then like also is having hallucinations and things like this, or it's like all in his head. Like, I don't know. There's definitely, this movie's gonna be filled with twists and turns. I think it looks very visceral. It seems like this one seems really interesting. Is it a hop to the theater to find out? Maybe not, but I'm curious to see what the the temperature is on this one when it comes out, and people in the Discord when they're watching it, because this one seems like it has some juice to it potentially. This might be one that could fill that cup of yours with orange juice.
Oh yes, it could. It looked like to me like there's some cult stuff going on, very demonic
Okay, yeah.
things, trying to like make him into this kind of celebrity, this hot shot, big shot kind of guy.
Hot shot, big shot.
But yeah, a lot of mystery. So I am interested. I really, really am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that leave
Last
just
one's Life of Chuck,
Life of Chuck?
which I don't get it, Taylor. Once again, I don't get it. People seem to be blowing their gasket. What is this saying about this movie? They seem to think it looks like the best movie ever. I don't get it.
Is that what everyone was
Why?
freaking out in the Discord about?
I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't see the hype for this one. I guess it's based on a Stephen King book, right? Maybe it's an amazing book, and maybe that's why the hype is. From the trailers, like I don't know. This looks like I don't get it. I don't see anything special about this. So
A life-affirming masterpiece. That's what it says.
which that means nothing to me.
A stunning celebration of the moments that make life worth living.
That's also
That's
means
gotta have
nothing
some
to
weight.
me. I don't know what that means. What does it mean? Why should I be excited about that?
What about an emotional epic? It's a wonderful life for today.
I've never seen A Wonderful Life back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got Mark Hamill in it. That's pretty cool. Karen Gillan's in there.
Yeah. We got Loki.
Loki, yeah, that's right. I don't know. It
Loki.
seems it's going to be a feel-good movie of some sorts. I'm not rushing to necessarily go see it myself, but
Is there like a twist to it, or is it just like a guy discovers gravity and teaches the world about love? I don't know.
What kind of twist do you want? You want it to be like a horror, like he's a serial killer,
Maybe.
or a scientist?
I would be
or...
shocked if that's what this movie was about, just based on the vibes. But I feel like there needs to be something that's interesting about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not really a hook from the trailer, at least for me. But people that have read the book, they're obviously really, really big fans. As you said, there's a huge just obsession with this. It's going to be amazing. So I'm happy for the community that seems to be excited, I guess.
The Chuck heads.
The Chuck heads.
Yeah.
That's right. Cool. Well, in classic fashion, how would you rate these? Rank.
Yes.
Sorry.
Maddie Sags, thank you for the question, which anyone can go on to our Patreon. Sign up there, ask a question that we'll discuss in great detail, such as ranking these trailers. Number one for me, I'm going to go from the top to bottom here. We're going to go top 28 years later. Number two, we're going to go Toxic Avenger. Number three, we're going to go with Weapons. And then it's just a pile of slop. I'm not going to lie to you, Taylor. Number four, I guess I'll put Eddington, not even for the trailer, but just for the Ari Aster factor. That's a nice Ari Aster factor. I like that. Number five. Oh, sorry, I forgot about him. Him can go up to number four. Where does that leave? That leaves oh my God, Eddington at 5. I Know What You Did Last Summer at 6. And I guess I'll put what am I at? 7? Life of Chuck 7. Maybe Heads of State 8. This is a lot of trailers. It's hard to do this off the cuff. But I think that's my ranking there. So, half good, half slop for me this week.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Half slop. I think I'll go in least to most anticipated. Okay. Eddington in the last spot.
Wow.
I know. Whoa. Just didn't pull me in. Life of Chuck, Heads of State, him, Toxic Avenger, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Weapons, and then 28 years later. That's my number one. So it's just
the 28
great.
Takes the gold crown twice in a row tonight.
Gold crown.
That's pretty good.
Twice in a row. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to add to trailers?
No, let's fly off to a galaxy far, far away.
All right, we're gonna fly through this murky ad break and be right back. And we are back. We made it through the ad field. So what do we got to dive into here? There was Star Wars Celebration this past weekend. Lots of
Okay.
cool stuff, including a new movie. We've got some details we're gonna break down. Did you see the little teaser they did for Starfighter, Dylan?
Oh, I didn't know that existed. I'm sorry. I'll go YouTube that.
No. You, don't
What?
worry about it. It was literally just the logo saying Star Wars, then
Oh.
Starfighter appeared, and
Okay. I did not see that.
I guess more like a revealed. Well, very very minor.
An unveiling.
An unveiling, yes.
Yeah.
So, what have you heard about this movie?
I've heard about what's written here in our notes for the episode.
Yes,
that's about as far as
that's
I've
right.
gone with this. So I don't know. Is there anything? What do I need to know? What do I and the viewers need to know about Star Wars Starfighter?
I feel off the top of my head before I read what's written down in front of me. I just think that this is going to be a spiritual successor of sorts to Star Wars Rogue Squadrons. Yeah, Disney just wants to get that spaceship Star Wars movie in to theaters. And since Rogue Squadron is technically shelved, now we get Starfighters. I just think it's funny that they just want to get that ship movie out there. But
Okay.
yes, so the details here, because they announced Gosling is officially on board. He came out on stage at Star Wars Celebration. He's in this movie. And so it looks like it's reportedly going to feature a boy who is 15 years of age on a mission with his uncle, who is supposedly Ryan Gosling, as they're being pursued by a duo of villains. Now, Gosling and the 15-year-old, his nephew, are rumored to be Jedi. Discuss.
Well, I guess, to flip it right back on you here. So this is Sean, I always forget if it's Levi or Levy, but that's the director of this one, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And remind me my God, my computer's bugging out.
Bullet
So
Train. Wait, did he do Bullet Train? He did Free Guy, Deadpool.
He did Deadpool and Wolverine, Free Guy, Adam Project, and Night at the Museum, apparently. Wow.
Night at the Museum.
Pink Panther?
Yeah.
Legend.
Wait, David Leitch did Bullet Train. That's right.
Yeah, I always mix those two up. I feel like they have very similar careers to me. Because I was thinking that him and Gosling have worked together before, because I was mixing him up with the Leachman. But I guess
Yeah.
they haven't worked together before?
I guess
fresh,
not.
A fresh pairing. What do you think about like this director, kind of known for doing more comedic, goofier things? Like, what do you think about pairing him with a Star Wars movie? Not just like, here, we'll give an episode of like Mandalorian or something, but like giving him a full on movie. Like that feels like a bold choice in my mind.
Oh, I'm worried.
Okay. Yeah.
Star Wars is in a place where we don't need a lot of excessive comedy, and I defer to Andor. Andor is a very serious story, and it's tense. It's granted it's not for young kids, but I don't feel like there's a place in Star Wars where we need to have a lot of oversaturated comedy. And again, I'm not saying
Was Skeleton
that's what they're
Crew
gonna be
funny?
doing.
Was that a funny show?
It had some small little comedic beats to it that were very innocent, and it wasn't
Okay.
forced on you really. But it had
Right.
great serious moments. Again, it was like
Okay.
a Goonies mixed with Stranger Things, but with Star Wars. It was really really nice and a pleasant surprise, a refresh. But I'm not saying that this is going to be a comedy-centric movie, but I'm hoping not, even though Gosling has been taking on a little bit more of those comedic roles as of late.
He has.
When you look at Sean's previous projects, Real Steel, which actually caught me off guard that he did, that has some very small, innocent, humorous moments. But dang, with Hugh Jackman and that kid actor, with the two of them combined, there's a lot of really heartfelt, serious moments, and it's a very triumphant storyline. I really like it, and it's awesome. And so that tells me, okay, that this director can do a very serious story when he's backed into that corner.
Plus, he did direct some episodes of Stranger Things as well, so pulling in that
did he?
direct vibe that you just mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's never good to like just put a guy in a box when he has a career as big as this guy. Like, obviously, he's done a lot of different things, but that was surprising when I read that, just in terms of looking at like his most recent project specifically. So yeah, it seemed like, I don't know, an odd choice, but obviously Deadpool Wolverine, like in the Disney family, and I guess Disney as a whole seem to like working with him, and they feel like right now they're struggling to get a movie off the ground and into the air like a Starfighter, and I feel like this seems like a great guy to like just get the job done at this point, put something together, quick and dirty, but like still quality enough for people to enjoy it. So I guess like what is the runway here? The runway would be that we have Mando movie next year, right?
Yes.
And then this would be the one after that, or is that another movie I'm forgetting about in the?
No, you've got it right. Mando's coming out in 2026, and then this one is releasing May 28th, 2027. So they're dropping the December release, and we haven't had that happen since Solo did that.
Solo was May as well, wasn't it?
I think it was May. Yeah, it was like spring, early summer release.
Yeah.
The rest have all been December.
Yeah, which I'm trying to think, like, does Disney or does Marvel rather not have like a big thing dropping in May of 2027? I feel like they always have something in like that May pocket. Like it's an Avengers, is that kicked more down to the summer realm?
Secret Wars. So Google's telling me Secret Wars is May 7th, 2027.
Okay, so that's like pretty much a month away then at least, so it's not stepping on toes.
Yes, 21 days. So that's interesting. That'll be a good month.
It'll be spicy for sure. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like if you're struggling to get a movie off the ground, like go with a simpler concept, like character focusing on like a duo of characters with a duo of villains, trying to chase them down. Seems solid enough. Like I don't know how much. I guess if like Gosling is not a Jedi, but the kid is maybe a Jedi. Like it's not like he would be training him, I guess, but maybe the kid will accidentally do some like force powers at some point. It could be just like a minor little flavor addition rather than like setting up like, oh, this guy's gonna be the next Rey or something, right? Like maybe it's just more kind of a fun little background detail or something.
Well, the interesting thing here, and I know it says in the notes, you're like Gosling and the 15-year-old rumored to be Jedi. I think that some people are speculating, okay, Gosling is going to be a Jedi in this movie, but
okay. I thought it was just the kid was a Jedi, but okay, they're both Jedis.
I think again the rumor is okay, they're both. It's Ryan Gosling or it's the kid. Like again, we need confirmation on that, but I think the main rumor is that they're both Jedi. The thing though about this is, this movie takes place 5 to 6 years after Rise of Skywalker. Now, during Rise of Skywalker, the only Jedi we know of is Rey. She's the only one. And obviously, Finn is feeling up some of his Jedi powers now, too. He's access to the Force.
What a wording. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, okay, at what point in time does this 15-year-old and where does Gosling... If Gosling is a Jedi... When did he start his training? Did Rey just bump into this man in his like 40s? Like, oh, you've got the Force. I'll train you to become a Jedi. And he becomes a Jedi Knight that got quick. 6 years after Rise of Skywalker. That doesn't seem right to me. And then
I'll say Gosling is not a Jedi. I think he is the he's trying to help this kid. He can't help him with the Force powers and stuff, but he can kind of be his guide or help him along, be the kind of father figure or guardian type figure. I feel like that would be more the situation here, because I feel like it'd be risky. So. Like it'd be weird to even just get Gosling in there for like a one-off movie, but like make him a Jedi. Because if you make him a Jedi and he doesn't like die in this, like presumably they want to milk him like one of Luke's utter. I butchered that joke, but you know what I was going for.
I know what you're going for. Yeah.
They'd want to use him over and over again, but like like put him in like an episode. Don't put him in this random movie that's potentially a one-off, right?
Yeah. I think it makes more sense to have the young kid. If this is 6 years after Rise of Skywalker, he's 15 years old. That means he would have started the training at around like 9 or 10, which fits because I feel like that's around the time when Anakin was going through his training. He was around like 9 or 10 at that.
But is the infrastructure there to like train Jedis though?
I think she absolutely has the infrastructure. I mean, because she had the Jedi tech. She spent like a long period of time looking in and building her lightsaber, looking into the Force and learning all these things, training under Leia.
Does she have the infrastructure to like locate potential Jedis?
I'm going to say yes. Okay. I think that she, with those sacred Jedi texts, she probably had the setup and the details on how to pursue such things, reach out into the Force. And
is it like Wanted where they have like this random looms, like typing in names and stuff like
That's
that.
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I hope that that's the case. And again, I don't think many people are going to care, but I'm just a stickler for those kinds of things, and I think that it would just make sense to have, a younger Jedi Padawan and have Rey, like, because I think that movie was supposed to be Rey, because we're getting a Rey movie, and I think that's kind of like meshed into this a little bit. But Rey was supposed to
Oh,
come
okay.
back, and she was going to have, I think, her own Jedi Council or Jedi Padawans, whatnot, years in the future after Rise of Skywalker. So again, we'll just have to see how they time everything up. But that's releasing, as we said, 2027 for the 50th anniversary of A New Hope. There are several major actors who have turned down roles in this movie, which is very interesting. Not sure why, if it's a lack of interest, if it's a fear or a busy schedule, whatnot. But most of them are appearing to would have been the villains. Jodie Comer, Jesse Plemons, Mikey Madison. And then we have Greta Lee, be a supposed cantina owner. Sarah Snook, who is the main character's mother. What do you think about all these?
I like every single one of these actors. I think they're all fantastic. Okay, I love Plemons. Do I want him in Star Wars though? I feel like he could fit in Star Wars. I don't think I want. I think I want him to do like other things that I'm more juicing for, but like I think he would be a good fit. So I think that's a miss, especially like he's obviously really good at villainous stuff. I mean, even in Black Mirror, it's like Star Trek. USS Callister's like Star Trek theme, and he's like a villain in that. So it's like, okay, that's kind of fitting. If he played a villain in the Star Trek knockoff thing, he could definitely play a villain in Star Wars, even if there are different vibes there. So he would be a good fit, but he turned it down. Apparently. So I don't know. That's interesting to me in terms of like casting. Like if they're looking for that kind of guy, like I don't know. Could you get like a Defoe type as well? Like is that the vibe we're going for here? Like that could be interesting. And then with Comer and Mikey Madison, like maybe that's the idea, is that there's like an older man with like a young. I mean, Jesse Plemons is like pretty. We had that debate at some point on the cast. I think when we were doing like Civil War. He's like 30 or something, or like early 30s, or I don't know. Don't have to get back into that. But maybe that would be the dynamic here. It's like older man, younger woman kind of combo. Mikey Madison, I think, hot off Honora, like, yeah, don't go do this random Star Wars thing. Go do some other cooler, more interesting things. I'm glad she turned it down if that's the case. Jodie Comer's a weird one for like a villain. Maybe I haven't seen her in a ton of stuff, to be fair. But to me, she's like does not give villain energy. So I don't know. That would be a strange choice for me. But maybe it's gray area. Maybe not like just full evil Darth Sidious vibes. Maybe it's just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two, Greta Lee is anyone can be a cantina owner. So like whatever. Sarah Snook is the main character's mother. So I'm guessing like the kid's mother. I'm guessing the vibe is that she's died and we're maybe in like flashbacks or something like that. Do you think that would be the energy here?
I think so. Yeah, that would make sense. Why like the
I'd be down
involved.
to see her. I think it'd be cool. I mean, I could almost see her more in a villainous role. I think the only thing I've seen her in is Succession, and she's fantastic in that show. And I've been excited to see her in other things. And I think she'd be a pretty good fit here. So I hope. I don't know if any one of these worked out. I think I'd maybe pick that one, to be honest. That or Plemons, of course, but. Yeah, honestly a weird mix of people for this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is weird. Mikey Madison, that kind of surprised me, but I think that their goal was to make one of the main villains to be a female of sorts, whatever that is. I don't know. This is a conversation. This is a little bit of a sideline tangent. I was having with my cousin who were talking about Star Wars because the Darth Maul show was announced, the animated series. It picks up right after the Clone Wars by a year. And it's supposed to have the origin of Darth Talon in there. And we were talking about how, okay, with Darth Talon, she is a legend Sith that appeared with Darth Krayt 2 generations after Luke Skywalker, when Cade Skywalker, the grandson of Luke, was kicking around. And they appeared and they were really causing a ruckus as the new Sith Order and whatnot. But so for her... she didn't have any established aforementioned placement in the canon. She's only in Legends, but here we have Darth Talon, supposedly her origins in this show, and I'm wondering what the context is, because I feel like would they do something like, okay, Darth Maul has maybe a foreshadow or a vision or sees something regarding the future, because he seemed to be pretty adept at seeing things in the future, at least with what we get to know of him throughout the Clone Wars. So long story short, we were just conversing about how maybe they allude to Darth Talon and see her origins in here, and then she becomes a main character later on, maybe in Star Wars Starfighter or something like that. A Darth Talon appears as an older, more evil villain that can take on against the battle against their heroes. I don't know, but I just thought if they introduce her in the Dark Times, I feel like she would get caught. There's already so many Inquisitors, and she's not going to be able to call herself Darth because Vader would come in and kick her ass. I don't know. There's just a lot of convolutedness, but that was just food for thought. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's it, unless you got anything else you want to jive
I gotta
in.
say, Taylor, I feel like you don't seem very excited for this. That's the vibe I'm getting from you here.
I'm not
misread?
overly. I think that's a fair read. I'm not super stoked on it. To be honest, what really has my excitement is Mando and Grogu. I have a lot more hype for that, and I have even more excitement for Ahsoka season 2, just because of the things Dave Filoni was saying. He's saying you're going to be getting an all-out Star Wars war. You're going to have the New Republic facing off basically against the Imperial Remnant, with Thrawn leading the charge on a much more larger scale. So you're going to get two factions clashing. Admiral Akbar's supposed to be coming back into this battle too.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
it's supposed to be huge, and I think that's going to be juicy. That's going to be so much juice just everywhere, all over the floor, out of the container, out of the pitcher. So I love that. As far as the movies go, I don't know. Like I said, Mando and Grogu, way up there. Do I want another movie post Rise of Skywalker? Absolutely, because I think that timeline and those characters need a lot more love and care, because I think that they got really hard shaft afterwards when people were just kind of flacking them, and like Rise of Skywalker and whatnot. So I don't think they got dealt a very fair hand, a lot of those writers and stuff.
I gotta say, based on what you just told me about Ahsoka and what I feel like this movie is, like I feel like they should switch. Like Ahsoka should get promoted to movie status, dump budget all over that bad boy. Let's get a huge war, and then like this seems like a nice like 6-episode Disney Plus scenario. Other than Gosling, that's like, you know, that you wouldn't put him in like a TV show. I feel like he's a movie star kind of guy. But other than that, this feels like more of a. I mean, it feels a little, I guess, similar to Skeleton Crew from my very outside perspective. So
that's fair. Yeah, that's
but anyway, they're
comparison.
doing this, so that's what we're getting.
Yeah, that's what we're getting. I'm honestly, I have more excitement for like maybe Dawn of the Jedi, that takes place like 25,000 years before, and like just there's just other storylines that I feel like I would prefer, like something. I want more High Republic. I want something more Sith oriented, but we're getting this, and I'm sure I'm going to love it. I just need to see a little bit more context about what's going on here, and I worry so heavily about the fact that Sean is going to make this movie a bit too overly comedic, and with Ryan Gosling being in more comedic roles lately, that worries me that he's going to be spearheading just the comedic aspect of this, and that just I don't want to see like that cranky, comedically over the top, excessive uncle, and then like the young 15-year-old Jedi Padawan trying to keep things together, and just I don't know. I'm getting weird vibes like Spy Kids, where the kids are with their uncle, Uncle Treo, or Uncle Machete, that was his name, or whatever he is. So
yeah, this that kind of humor definitely does not mesh well with Star Wars. So hopefully that's not what they do here. I'm sure it won't be. I'm sure we're getting overhyped about that. We're overexcited about that. Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I think that does it for this episode of Weekly Geek. So thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, everyone. We'll be back next week. I think next week it's you and Mr. Patzer.
Me and the Pats.
You and the Patzer, yes. So stay tuned for that and everything else. Just remember, check us out on the feeds and join the Discord. So until next time, everyone, we'll see you in the search bar.